The Vikings dispatch of Divine on to Sinton. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Lago Vista Football Show, brought to you by the Lago Vista Boosters on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media, as the Vikings ground down Divine 42-12 to move on to the second round again. And that's becoming the norm for Lago Vista, and we actually talked with Coach about that. You know, it's amazing to think that just a few years ago it was a 2-8 season. Since then, I mean, you've had 20 wins and 22 and 21 combined. You add that now, you're at 27 wins against good teams, against good schedule, in a really tough district, especially when you moved up to 4A Division II. And the Vikings get Sinton again, a team that last year the Vikings beat 42-7, a very young Sinton team that is still very young. I think they're a little bit better this year, just on the maturation of their players. They've got a junior quarterback, a junior wide receiver. Their leading rusher on the year is a junior. And so they're a lot like, you know, Lago Vista is this year, but 1 year ahead as far as just the amount of snaps these young guys have get. Basically, they're where Lago Vista will be next year. Not on like how good the team is, just simply on experience. That's all I'm talking about. As always, we'll be talking to the head coach of Lago Vista about the win and the big game against Sinton. We're also just going to kind of talk about like motivation and how much do you look at last year's film beating this team? Because, again, a lot of those players are still there. But it was – I know Sinton was the favorite last year, and I think a lot of people feel that Sinton's the favorite this year. I was not shocked at Lago Vista. Lago Vista. I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger there. Sorry, I'm still sick. Still got the voice thing. I'm not sick anymore, but I'm recovering, and it can take a few days afterwards. But I felt that they would beat Sinton last year. I even said that on Sideline to Sideline, the Class 4A show. That's the show that Grant Goodman and I talk 4A through the state of Texas. You can hear it each and every week. S2SGrantandTerry.com or on YouTube, the video version at L4 Media Company. But I didn't think it was going to be 42-7. That was the shocking part. And I kind of feel exactly how I feel about in this game as I did last year. I think Lago Vista is going to win the game. I don't think it'll be 42-7. Hey, if it is, that's awesome. I don't think it is, though. I think Sinton this year offensively, when you've looked what they've done, 52 points, 47 points, 38, 46, 62, 49, 42, and then they beat Bishop last week, 34. But more importantly, I think their defense is a little better this year. You know, in their two losses, they only gave up 26 and 23 to two teams that are still playing, including Beeville Jones, who upset Cal Allen in the first round. I don't really know how much of an upset that was, but by the pundits and the computers, it is. So I do think Sinton's a better team. I just think I can't say Lago Vista's a better team. I think Lago Vista's a different team. And I think what Lago Vista does this year, especially offensively, can give Sinton some trouble. If you're not able to make the game and you want to watch it, want to let you know that Viking Sports Network is powered by HudlTV. If you do not have an account, just go to fan.hudl.com, and that's Hudl, Hudl. I should have said that more this year. I had somebody email me and say they couldn't find HUDDLE. It's HUDL, fan.hudl.com. Search for Lago Vista Vikings, and you'll find their broadcast schedule. There is a fee for the broadcast, $8 for single broadcast, $15 for monthly, and $75 for the yearly. Basically, you just pick which one. I always believe that monthly or yearly is the best bet, especially if you watch all, or if you're a supporter of all the sports, because they have volleyball, they have basketball, they have baseball, and they have softball, and of course they have football. If you like to watch all of Viking stuff, I would do the yearly, man. $75, and if you did it right now, you'd get all of next year's football and volleyball regular season in it. So I think that's a great deal. If you have any questions or comments about that, you can email Eric Holt at Lago Vista ISD. That's eholt at lagovistaisd.net. All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it's the head coach of the Vikings, Coach Creighton Phillips, right here on the Lago Vista Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Terry Bennett back here on the Lago Vista Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Vikings, Coach Creighton Phillips. And, Coach, first win of the playoffs for 2023. You beat Divine 42-12. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Well, it was a fun game. I thought the kids played really well. The Divine kids were really up for the game and made you earn it every play. They were kind of a grinded out offense, and our defense was, bend but don't break. I feel like they did a really good job there. Their scores coming pretty late in the game. The offense for us, I felt like, got in its groove early and found a way to get in the end zone on most possessions. So we felt pretty good about the overall performance.
One of the things about, and you and I were just talking about, as a program grows and where you start winning that first playoffs, and then you start to expect to go 3 and 4 rounds, and that's where you are at now. You're expecting to win your by-district game. It ain't just being surprised to be there. This is part of your goals each year.
Right. It's just a different mindset, and it's a program builder, right? Like it depends on where you're at or where you start. Sometimes making the playoffs is that goal, right? And you reach that, and that's awesome. And then it's, all right, we are a playoff team. How far are we going to go? And then there's the level of, we're a contender. Are we going to be able to get it done? And so we're moving up there in our belief system of what we're supposed to do. We believe we're supposed to make a run, not just make it to the playoffs. And so our kids, come to practice each week with confidence that what we're doing is going to work if we execute at a high level. And so it's a fun thing to be a part of.
And you're taking on a team this week in Sinton. Of course, y'all know them well. You played them last year, but they're the same way. I mean, this is a team that they feel every year that they should be a region threat. And this year, they're very young. I think they're better than last year, but I don't know how much. As you watch the film, what do you think of them?
They're very similar. I think they had some young kids last year that are back, quarterback and receiver tandem, little running backs, really good. These guys are explosive, and they're a program that expects to win, and so they play like that every week. They stack their preseason kind of like we do, and they play good people to prepare themselves for these runs, and so I think they're going to be a formidable opponent. Some experts have them picked to win by a couple of touchdowns. But I feel like our kids, it's just another game. They don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. It's just go out there and play and execute.
Are you the type of coach that uses that kind of things as motivator, the underdog, the chip on the shoulder, you're not getting respect? Is that how do you motivate, I guess is my question.
I think there's times where that makes sense. I don't know. I think if I told my kids that they were the underdog this week, they would kind of look at me sideways. And, I know this is a new season, and I understand that every team is different, but I think our kids would look back on our 42-7 win last year and feel like, why would they pick that team to beat us? But even though we're a completely different team than we were last year, and they are as well. So I don't think that would probably be appropriate this week to really I haven't even brought it up with them. So really it's just about us at this point. Let's be the best version of us that we possibly can be and put the best product on the field Friday night.
Well, and you talk about the fact y'all played them in the second round last year and y'all won. How much of that film do you look at, or do you look at any of it from last year?
I think you go back and see, what similarities you have, and kind of what adjustments did you make. Because you're not only playing against the kids on the field, you're playing against those coaches on the sideline too, and so. What do they believe in? If you hit them with this, what was their adjustment? What was our adjustment? What worked and what didn't? And so I think you have to go back and at least check it out, especially if they haven't made any, major changes to what they do. Our offense is different. Our defense is pretty similar. And so, we can look and see what they hurt us with and, how would we adjust differently this year? But, ultimately it's, who are you this year? Who are they this year?
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. Want to do a programming note. If Lago Vista wins, we'll be back next week. We will record earlier because we record on Thursdays, or we've started to at the end of the year. The way my schedule ended up shaking out, it was just easier. But next Thursday's Thanksgiving. So we'll record probably on Wednesday afternoon. So basically about the same time, just 24 hours ahead, and I'll post it on all the social medias. Of course, you can find us on Twitter at Grant and Terry or at L4 Media Company. You can find us on Facebook. Just type in either Sideline to Sideline or L4 Media. Sideline to Sideline, as I was saying earlier, of course, we talk 4A, 3A, and 2A across the state. Grant Goodwin and I have been doing that show for 16 years now. We have a lot of fun doing it. And, of course, we talk a lot of Lago Vista and Region 4, especially right now in the playoffs. We pick every playoff game. We picked every playoff game from week 1 all the way through till the end of the season. So if you want to hear some of the state and region stuff, you can check that out. Any questions, thoughts, or comments for Coach Phillips? Email them to me, Terry at S2SSport.com. If you're going to the game, be safe. Again, if you're not, go over to Hudl, Hudl, fan.hudl.com. Set up your account if you don't have one. Look for Lago Vista and you can find it. Pay the fee and have a good time watching the game. If you are going to the game, please be safe. Remember, it's a game. I don't have to say that with y'all. I have a really good fan base. But I've started saying that because of some emails I get about a team losing. And it's not that the email, I get if you're, I get mad when my team loses. And, I get mad when my high school team loses. Luckily, they're into the second round. Though it'll probably end after this one. And I get that. But, man, sometimes some of the things said, it's just, and I know social media makes it seem like it's way more now. I don't know if it is. I can remember in the 80s things being said, but they were usually in-house among friends, and it wasn't getting blasted out into the social media world where millions of people can find it. So that's why I've started saying that is, just remember it's a game. It's fun. It shouldn't be something that stresses your fandom or your family or the kids playing. It should be fun. So enjoy it. Be safe. And let's meet back next week, and let's be talking 3-round football right here on the Lago Vista Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.